Rangers have survived a European screw job. They overcame a red card. They overcame a penalty. And after 112 minutes with only 9 men left in the pitch, they overcame an Athletic Bilbao side that had not went goalless in 19 European games. Welcome back, guys, to Fog Football. It's finished at Ibrox. The first leg of the quarterfinal, it's Rangers 0, Athletic Bilbao 0. Rangers probably needed at least a draw, a minimum a draw from tonight to have a realistic chance of going through. And they got that draw, but honestly, who would have predicted that after going down to 10 men in the first 10 minutes of the game? Probably not many, but we'll talk about the red card, we'll talk about the penalty. Both decisions, I think, were extremely harsh. Both decisions obviously going against Rangers, but in the end, the 10 men managed to battle through. Liam Kelly managed to make a great penalty save, justifying Barry Ferguson's selection and putting him in for Butland. And they overcame 9 men, I guess, at the end, because a concussion to Sterling and Rangers already used all their subs meant that they finished the match with only 9 men on the pitch. And when you consider the fact that for the majority of it they had only 10 men at the end with 9, I mean, that was fucking backs against the wall stuff, and they've done a great job to get that clean sheet. And it almost feels like a win. It almost feels like a win, to the extent where at the end Rangers did have a corner. A bit negative. I mean, could they have put the ball into the box? I mean, maybe. They had a free kick and they decided to whip it in. Balogun was trying to get on the end of it, but it was just tipped away for a corner. And part of me's thinking, if they were willing to whip the free kick into the box, why weren't they willing to whip the corner in with even less time remaining? So you felt like with the free kick, if the free kick went wrong, then there was probably enough time for Athletic Bilbao to go on the counter. But with the corner, you felt like the corner would have been pretty much the last chance of the game. So I'm not sure why they took it short. But here, 0-0, great result with only 9 men on the pitch in the end. So, fantastic. But let's talk about the red card. So, Bilbao is a poor pass for Proper. He puts Balogun under pressure. Balogun has to pass it first time. It's not a great ball. It's intercepted. Bilbao come through, and Balogun goes to ground. He makes a challenge. He doesn't get anything on the ball, doesn't get anything on the man. Proper then goes straight in after Balogun, and he does catch his man. And the referee comes over, gives a yellow card, and gives a free kick on the edge of the box. And you're thinking, well, you know, he's a bit lucky there. I mean, it was outside the box, but not by much. But you're thinking, right, okay, Rangers have got away with one here. Balogun taking the yellow card, taking one for the team. But there's a VAR look into it, and all of a sudden the ref comes over. What they're checking for? I thought they were checking for a penalty. Even though it was outside the box, I didn't really understand what else they'd be checking for. But then we find out that he's actually looking for a possible red card because it's denying a goal-scoring opportunity. And in the end, they decide that they are going to overturn it, so the yellow card is taken away and a red card is given instead. And I thought it was very harsh. Now, the rules suggest that it is a red card. If you just go by the rules, I mean, it is a goal-scoring opportunity. There's no doubt about it that there's going to be a shot given away there. Williams is going to get a shot off. And, I mean, he's got a decent chance of scoring. So, I mean, it is a goal-scoring opportunity. But, I mean, at the end of the day, I mean, a red card, it does feel harsh. It wasn't necessarily the worst tackle I've ever seen. It's just slightly mistimed. But by the rules, I mean, I guess you can't really complain if that's the rules, then you got to abide by the rules, and the rules would suggest that's a red card. So, and he was also last man as well. So, but most times when you see a tackle and it was always the last man, he'd be coming from behind and it would be a tackle from behind. You know, this one he's actually coming from in front of Williams, and anywhere else on the pitch, and you know, it's just a mistimed tackle, and you're never getting a red for this anywhere on the pitch. But because of where it is and because of the situation, then I mean, you can understand why the red card was given. But it is strange because if it happened inside the box, double jeopardy rule, there would have been no red card. So I mean, you can make a case that you would probably rather, I think 10 minutes in, you could certainly make a case you would rather concede a penalty than go a man down, because you concede a penalty and you might save the penalty. Rangers have a good track record of saving penalties anyway, so I mean, I think you'd rather concede the penalty. Plus, you could concede, I mean, the whole double jeopardy, but you could concede the free kick. So to me, it's like a double whammy. I mean, it's not. It doesn't look like a red card challenge, but when you factor in that Inaki Williams was going to have a goal scoring opportunity, then I mean, I can see why the red card was given, but I thought it was harsh. But whatever, I can see why it was given. They didn't score it. The Rangers then had a couple of chances through Dessers. One, a volley, edge of the box, just narrowly wide of the post. They had another one with a header, which is over the bar. But, I mean, really, not a lot happened. We didn't see Kelly have to do much, to be honest. He got brought in, and, I mean, he came out and he caught some balls, but we didn't really see many great saves. I think Athletic Bilbao only had like 3 shots on target the whole game. So, I mean, Rangers were good defensively, and they didn't give much up. And, you know, fair play to them, because I was expecting, honestly, man, I was expecting Bilbao to take advantage more and create more chances. And I thought that they probably would go on and win this pretty comfortably. But in the end, you know, that didn't happen. So, grateful for that. But right, then we get the penalty. So ball comes in, it's a cross, and Sterling looks like he's trying to head it away. He's got his arms out. The Athletic Bilbao player ends up scoring, but then it's offside, so they bring it back further, and it turns out in the build-up that Sterling touched the ball with his hand. I mean, he wasn't even looking at the ball. Honestly, the handball rule now, it seems made up. It seems like they're fucking making this handball rule up now. I mean, you just don't know when it's going to be given, and you don't know when it's not going to be given. We see situations and examples where there's pretty much identical, and sometimes they'll give it and sometimes they won't. It's like you just do not know. I think it's dependent on the referee now, or the fucking game, or whatnot, but you have no idea whether these penalties for handballs are going to be given or not going to be given. I mean, we've seen in Scotland a lot have been given, a lot haven't been given. There's been a lot of controversy over that. This one, you're thinking, right, well, I mean, it's clipped them on the hand. It's came off the Athletic Bilbao player's knee first, then it's slightly grazed off Sterling's hand. He wasn't even looking at the ball, so you're thinking, right, well, that would be harsh, to give it against him, but because you're jumping, you're trying to balance, your arms are going to be out. However, no, the referee goes over, he looks at it, he gives the offside for the goal, but then he decides to give a penalty for Bilbao. So Rangers went from being 1-0 down to it being back to 0-0, however, facing a penalty, which I guess is better. I mean, you'd rather concede a penalty than concede a goal, and Liam Kelly is the proof of that, because he stepped up, made a great save with his foot, fantastic save. So yeah, it was 0-0, and then honestly, man, Liam Kelly had not had a lot to do, to be honest. Athletic Bilbao late in the game, just never, they were pumping balls into the box and all this shit, but never really came close to scoring. And I mean, I can't sit here and recall Kelly having to make spectacular saves after spectacular saves. It did really pan out that way. It kind of just pattered out, and Rangers got the 0-0 draw. Obviously, they did have a free kick late on. They got a corner from it, and then they took it short, and that was it. You had Dujong Sterling, who went off with a concussion, so Rangers ended up with 9 men. But overall, it was a good performance for Rangers. Defensively, very solid. Didn't offer that much going forward, but what do you expect when you've got 10 men and then 9 at the very end? So I think as soon as Rangers went down to 10 men, everybody's taking a 0-0, and that's exactly what they got. So I imagine that Barry Ferguson will be very happy. I think the Rangers players will be very happy. Can actually hear what some of the Rangers players said. Liam Kelly was talking after the game, and he said it's not about him. He just wants to help the team. He told TNT Sports, quote, "I never actually had much to do in the game. Once we went to 10 men, the guys in front of me were absolutely brilliant. We didn't really know what was happening after Bilbao scored, and then all of a sudden you hear penalty. I just wanted to help the team. I don't really care about me," end of quote. Well, I mean, he certainly did help the team, because that was a big penalty save, and I mean, let's make no mistake about it. if that goes in, there's a chance I think Bilbao win by more than one. That goal could have deflated Rangers. Had Rangers conceded that penalty, who's to say that Rangers don't lose a second or a third? Because goals change games, and I think the fact that Rangers held out for that long, had they conceded and when they did with that penalty, that could have been a damaging blow, and heads could have dropped, and it could have seen Bilbao maybe even get a second or third. So, that is a massive save from Liam Kelly. That keeps Rangers in it, no doubt about it. That keeps Rangers in it, because I'm not convinced it ends 1-0 if that goes in. So Liam Kelly he said he wants to help the team. He has helped the team massively. He's given them a huge chance now going into the second leg. And I mean, based on that performance, why not? Why can't Rangers do it? They're going to have John Suter back. They're going to have Diomande back. All right, they won't have Robin Proper, but I mean, do you want Robin Proper? Probably not. Probably not. Tavernier, what did he have to say? He said to TNT Sports, quote, "I thought the penalty was a little bit harsh because they said it was a deliberate handball from Dujon Sterling. We're here to help the team. It wasn't the prettiest game, but we had to dig deep and get a positive result, especially with 10 men. European nights always take care of themselves. It's domestically that has been our Achilles heel this season. The performance we put in tonight is what we have to do consistently in the league." End of quote. And look, James Tavernier, he said he was told it was a deliberate handball. It's impossible. He wasn't even fucking looking at it. How could that be a deliberate handball? He's clearly got his arms out, because that is what you do. You have to balance yourself. You do not jump with your arms down your side, especially when you're running backwards, okay? It's all about balance, and your arms and your limbs, they offer you the best balance, the best support. You use your hands, okay? I mean, it fucking is what it is. I can't think of a sport where you don't use your hands. Even in like sports where you do not like play with your hands, you're using your hands for balance, aren't you? I mean, it is what it is. So, anyway, Tavernier there saying that it was a deliberate handball. I don't think it was. I mean, I know it wasn't actually. There's no way it's a deliberate handball. It's an accidental handball, and therefore, I think that it should not be given as a penalty. I thought it was extremely harsh. However, Kelly did make the save, and it was a good save. So, I mean, fair play to him. And I think Rangers deserved it. I think it would have been very harsh if Rangers lost that late on. That wouldn't have been good. So, they needed to do something, and they got a draw. They got a 0-0. So it keeps them in the tie, which is, I think, the bare minimum that they needed tonight. But what did Barry Ferguson say about the game? He told TNT Sports, quote, "That was a proper Rangers performance. That's the exact reaction I wanted. That's what I spoke about on Monday, and the players tonight showed a performance full of heart, grit and determination. It was a bit chaotic, the sending off. I can see why the referee gave a red card, but at that stage you need to shuffle the pack. I had to play away. I didn't necessarily want to. Some people had to put a real shift in, and they did. There was a real togetherness, and I keep saying to them, I need to see that every week." End of quote. So Barry Ferguson, clarifying that was a real Rangers performance, unlike what he's seen at Hibs when he came out and said never a Rangers team. So looks like the players have made Barry Ferguson proud tonight. I think they've done themselves proud. It's a good draw considering they were down to 10 men, considering they had a penalty they needed to save, and in the end they ended up with 9 men on the pitch. So very good draw. It's going to be tough in Spain, but they've given themselves a chance, and here it's another point. It's another coefficient draw, so should move Scotland higher up the coefficient table. Always good. We'll move Rangers up their club coefficient as well. So, good stuff. 0-0. Not the win that they wanted, but, after 10 minutes, they would have took this. They would have bit your hand off for this. 100%. Anyway, that's it, guys. More reaction to come soon. Thought it was a good game. 0-0. Everything to play for in the second leg. Bilbao are obviously favourites because they've got the home advantage, but I think Rangers with 11 men. It'll be interesting to see what they can do, because tonight, I felt like they stood up well against Bilbao and they did not offer up many chances, and that was with 10 men. So if they can do this with 10, maybe they can do a bit more with 11. We'll have to wait and see next week. That's it. Till next time, though. Leave a like, leave a comment, subscribe. Big Stevie Cool was at the game. Might get a reaction from him later. Who knows? Till then, though. Peace.